Okay. Sige, I think wala na tayong concern. Let us start with our discussion. Please bear with me, mahirap mag-discuss ng computation ng walang board. Hindi nakakasulat. So I have provided already here the steps sa computation. Okay, let's discuss the pharmacokinetics of an intravenous bolus injection. So our objectives for this afternoon, number one, we will be differentiating plasma concentration time curves after single and multiple IV bolus drug administration. And at the same time, we'll apply the pharmacokinetic equations of single and multiple doses of IV bolus to calculate various pharmacokinetic parameters. Okay, so before that, I'll be posting also later a material for you to review about the order and first order kinetics. I will no longer require you to do the graphing. For the problem solving, I will supply all the necessary data kasi magte-take time pa if i-ask ko pa i-ask ko pa kayo na mag-graph. Okay, so again, please review on the first order and zero order kinetics. This time, we will be concentrating sa intravenous bolus administration, and this will follow first order elimination. Okay, so I believe we are very familiar with this one. Let's have a review of this. When you say intravenous bolus administration, we are giving the whole dose, the entire dose at one time. Okay? So at time zero, the drug will be on its maximum concentration in the plasma. Okay? As we give it intravenously. And then, the drug's concentration in the plasma syempre will decline after some time because of the elimination, and the rate of the elimination is proportional to the amount of drug or to the concentration left in the body. So that is known as first order kinetics. Kasi 'di ba yung zero order kinetics natin, the elimination rate constant. I mean the elimination rate is constant, and it is not dependent on the amount of the drug left in the body. Kung for example, after an hour, half yung mawawala, yung next hour, another half pa rin yung the same yung magiging elimination rate ng drug for zero order. But for first order kinetics, depende yun doon sa naiwan na concentration sa body. Okay? So that's what we are going to discuss this afternoon. Yung first order elimination doon sa mga intravenous bolus administered drugs. So we will be discussing this one because the IV bolus is the simplest na pharmacokinetic na yung picture kung ano yung magiging sojourn or yung journey ng drug inside the body. Because again, we will no longer consider absorption here since we give the drug directly sa vein. Okay? So this one is a comparison between a single and a multiple dosing of IV bolus. So what I have said a while ago, for single IV bolus, syempre at zero time we will start with the Cmax na kaagad kasi the entirety of the dose is being injected directly to the vein, and then there will be a decline of the concentration as the drug gets eliminated from the body. And then again, the elimination of the drug is dependent on the concentration or the amount of drug left inside. Now, on the second graph on the right side, we have here the multiple dosing of the IV bolus. So, ganun pa rin naman. It's just that we have two peaks here since we will get the first concentration or the maximum concentration at 0 time on the first dose. And as that drug declines, when we give the second dose, syempre, tataas na naman yung amount ng drug sa body. Okay, so we'll start first with the IV bolus sa one compartment model. So we will treat the whole body, the whole body as one compartment only, and that as we administer the drug gets distributed all throughout the body, okay, homogeneously. Now we are going to consider a lot of parameters here, and that includes the dose of the drug, that's the D, and then the volume of distribution, the V, and then the last one is the K, the elimination rate constant. So we will talk about the computation of these parameters later. Okay? We will be concentrating sa first order elimination rate constant. But before that, let's have first the different equations that we can use for the computation. We have here the original formula. A is the dose or the initial amount of drug administered to the body. So this is the concentration for a certain time equals A0 is the not the concentration, it's a dose. The dose at 0 time, it's the amount of drug injected, and then E, that's the number raised to the power of K times T. So K again is the elimination rate constant, and then the T is the time. Okay. Now, please take note also of this one. If we want to compute for the dose, if it's not given in the problem, we may use instead kung merong binigay na volume of distribution as well as the concentration, we can do this also. Or we can derive the formula if what we are looking is the concentration. So concentration will just be dose divided by the volume of distribution. Okay, now since in pharmacokinetics, what we are using in checking the pharmacokinetic profile of the drug is the plasma concentration, then we can use this one, the formula. The concentration for a certain time is equal to the concentration at 0 time, okay, and then times E, that's the number raised to the power of K T. Okay, and then we may use also this formula here sa baba in substitute sa concentration at 0 time if it's not given. Okay, so if the dose and the volume of distribution is given, i-substitute na lang natin, we can still compute for the concentration for a given time. Okay, please be familiar with those things. Now, if we are going to graph the plasma time curve, plasma concentration time curve for the IV bolus one compartment model, this will be the graph. Okay, so on the left side, ito yung gamit natin is graphing paper. So definitely we will not get a linear graph here since this is first order. The decline, the elimination of the drug is dependent to the remaining concentration inside the body. However, on the right side, if we are going to use a semi-log paper, then we will get a linear na graph to this one. It's a linear na graph. Okay? Now, let us have some examples for the computation of the different pharmacokinetic parameters. This time for the IV bolus injection of gentamicin. We have here the given dose of gentamicin is 200 milligrams, and then the volume of distribution is known, that's 20 liters. Now we have here two questions. Number one, what is the value of the concentration at 0 time, or that is the initial or the original concentration, since that is not given sa data. Now, I have given the formula a while ago. Concentration is equal to the dose divided by the volume. So the dose is 200 milligrams divided by the volume of distribution. Then we get this one is the original concentration, 10 milligrams per liter. We can see that one in the graph below. So the initial concentration here at the time zero after administration is 10 milligrams per liter. Now, on the right side, we have here the estimation of the elimination rate constant from a semi-log plot. Okay, so this one is using a graphing paper. On the other side, we have here the semi-log plot. So that's the difference. We will get a linear na graph for the semi-log paper. Now, again, if we are going to estimate the elimination rate constant, we may use this formula. Negative KE, that's the elimination rate constant, is equal to the normal logarithm of concentration 2 minus the normal logarithm of the concentration 1 divided by T2, the time of the second concentration, minus T1, that's the time of the first concentration. So we will just get the data from the graph below. As you can see, we have here the T1. Oh, sorry. The T1 here, nasa center siya. So, this is 6. On the 6th hour, we have here the concentration 2.23. And then on the 20th hour, we have this concentration 0.067. We'll use it, substitute here sa formula, and then let's do the math. You can see the normal logarithm in your calculators, and then we will get this elimination rate constant. That's 0.250 per hour. Yan yung ating um, elimination rate constant for the gentamicin being administered as IV bolus. Okay? So yun yung ating KE. Now, let's move on to another computation here using this same data, and we will be using also the computed elimination rate constant. The dose is still 200 milligrams. We have the volume of distribution here, the 20 liters, and then again, this one is the previously computed elimination rate constant. Okay? So, di ba, our formula is concentration at a certain time equals, we have actually here the original one is the concentration at 0 time. But since hindi siya given, actually na-compute na siya on the previous slide, that's 10 milligrams. You can see it here. Sa baba, it's 10 milligrams. But in this case, hindi kasi sinama sa data yung computed one. So, nag-stick tayo with the dose and the volume of distribution. Thus, we are going to use this formula. D over V times E raised to the power of KET. So, our question actually is calculate the plasma concentration at 2 hours. Because if we're going to look back at the graph, hindi actually natin nakikita dito yung concentration after 2 hours. Okay? Actually, meron dito. This will just be an approximation. So, let's compute using this formula. Let's substitute. We have the dose 200 milligrams divided by the volume of distribution. And then that E, you can see that one in your calculators. Ano yan siya? Nasa taas ng normal logarithm yung ln. So just do the shift ln and then you'll get this letter E. Okay? So E represents a number na continuous. So E is raised to the power of negative KE. So that's negative 0.25 or 250 times 2. 2 is the time. Yan yung hinahanap natin. Ano yung magiging concentration after 2 hours. So 200 divided by 20, that's 10 times. Ito, if we are going to do the math, then that is 0.607. And then, i-multiply natin the concentration of the drug after 2 hours will be 6.07 milligrams per liter. So, titingnan natin yan siya dito sa ating graph, then most likely it's at 6.07. Okay? Now, aside from computing for the concentration at a certain time, and at the same time, the elimination rate constant, we can also check the volume of distribution using this same equation. Parang i-check lang natin, babalik ta rin natin, kasi na-compute naman yung 6.07 at after 2 hours. If we are going to compute, then we will get the same volume of distribution, that's 20 liters. However, we can also use those data to check the clearance of the drug. Okay, so in this case, the clearance of the gentamicin. We will be using this formula, so please take note of this. Clearance is equal to the volume of distribution multiplied to the elimination rate constant. The given volume of distribution is 20 liters, and then i-multiply natin siya doon sa computed elimination rate constant. Ang clearance ng ating gentamicin for this case is 5 liters per hour. Okay? So yun yung mga pharmacokinetic parameters that we can compute for the given set of data. Again, this is IV bolus administration. Okay, and then again, this follows first order kinetics. That is why you cannot get a linear graph using a simple graphing paper. Okay? And then let's add also the half-life, the same formula that we had last time. The T1 half for the first order kinetics is equal to 0.693 divided by the elimination rate constant. Yung 0.25, yan yung na-compute natin a while ago. So 0.693 divided by 0.25 per hour is equal to 2.77. Okay, that is our half-life. Any question or clarification before we move on to the multiple dosing for IV bolus administration? Sorry, I just read the comment. Paano makuha ang E? Nasa nasa calculator. If we have the same model for the calculator, you can see that sa taas ng ln, that's the normal logarithm, you can see the EX. So if i-shift natin siya, shift ln, you will see the E on your calculator, and then you just have to input the remaining data. Yung data natin is 1. So E, pag nakasulat na siya, shift ln, tapos negative 0.250 times 2. Negative 250 times 2. Baka hindi siya makuha. Negative 250 times 2. Yeah. Yung shift dyan, shift ng ln. Tapos, negative 0.250 times 2, you will get 0.6, actually 0.6065. So, gi-round off lang siya, 0.607. That's how you get the E sa calculator. Cannot show you sa screen. Sobrang liit. Yung e raised to the power of x. Yan. Anything else? Before we'll have the IV bolus multiple dosing. Sige, before we get to call it multiple dosing talaga na there is accumulation, we'll have to check first when is the second dose given. Kasi if the doses are far apart from each other, wherein yung unang binigay na dose have been eliminated completely in the body, walang accumulation na mangyayari, ang tawag dyan ay independent dosing. Again, if the doses are like far enough apart, yung concentration ng first na binigay has become zero already, na-eliminate na lahat before nabigay yung second dose, independent dosing ang tawag doon. Walang accumulation na nangyari sa drug. So, since independent dosing yun siya, mahuhulog yun siya doon sa single administration. Yung ating IV bolus multiple dosing is yung na i-consider here is when the first dose na na-administer is hindi pa completely eliminated from the body tapos nagbigay ka na ng another dose. So just like the graph on the screen, we have here the first dose here. That is why we have here the maximum concentration, the 250 milligrams per ml. And then, syempre, the concentration will decline as the drug gets eliminated from the body. And then, hindi pa siya nag-zero. After 6 hours, we have the second dose na na-administer. Okay? So, the remaining concentration plus the next dose na binigay, i-add up yun siya. Kaya, syempre, mas mataas yung magiging maximum concentration for the second dose. Okay? That is also true for the succeeding doses. Okay? So in this case, tataas talaga siya because of the accumulation of the drug. Okay? So hindi ito siya matatawag na independent dosing. Now, since there is accumulation of drug, we will no longer use the formula for the single bolus administration. We will be using this formula. This is at any time for the multiple dose therapy. So CP or the multiple doses is equal to the S, that is the salt correction factor. If this is not given, this is usually 1. Okay? So magbabago lang kung binigay siya depending on the drug administered to the patient. And then F is the bioavailable factor natin. Then, syempre, since this is IV bolus, this is automatically 1. That is 100% bioavailable. And then letter D, the capital letter D here is the dose. Okay, times 1 raised to the power of, again, this is the E, the number in your calculator. And then raised to the power of n is the number of the last dose. And then the k, syempre, is the elimination rate constant. And then we have here the dosing interval. Divided by VD, that's the volume of distribution, times still 1 minus E raised to the power of the elimination rate constant times the dosing interval. And then, imumultiply itong lahat after doing the math for this one, imumultiply again for the E raised to the power of K, again, KT, elimination rate constant, times the time that has elapsed since the last dose of the drug. Okay? Now, ganito, if we're going back to the graph for the multiple dosing, I nasolbahan. magkakaiba, marami tayong maximum concentration and meron din tayong magkakaibang minimum concentration depending kung pang ilang dose na yung na-administer natin. Therefore, iba din yung magiging computation natin for that. In every dosing, meron tayong equation or computation na gagawin, i-check natin ano yung magiging maximum concentration at a certain dose ha, and then minimum concentration also. So we will be using this formula for, ito na lang sa baba ha kasi complicated na yung nasa taas, i-simplify na lang natin siya. So, yung concentration, maximum ha, at a certain dose, is ganun pa rin naman. Parehas lang siya actually nito na wala lang yung itong times negative, e raised to the power of negative kp. Okay, so tanggalin natin yun. We can get the maximum concentration for that certain dose. Tapos yung minimum naman na concentration is kagaya ng previous na, ito yung magiging minimum na concentration. Or, we can actually compute directly, no? Kasi this part here is the same with the maximum concentration. Pag na-compute mo na ang maximum, pwede mo na siyang idiretsyong multiply sa e raised to the power of the rate elimination constant times the interval, dosing interval. Okay, so let us have an example for this computation. We have here multiple intravenous bolus injections. The dose is 250 milligrams of a drug are administered every 8 hours. So that is our dosing interval. The drug has the following parameters. The salt correction factor is 1. The volume of distribution is 30 liters. And then we no longer compute for the K here because it's already given. But just in case that is not given, then you may utilize the formula a while ago sa KE. Okay? But this time, this is given 0.1 per hour. And then again, our dosing interval is 8 hours. Now, what is the question? What is asked in the problem? The plasma concentration 3 hours after the second dose. So, natapos na ang first dose, ang second dose, and then hahanapin natin ang plasma concentration of the drug 3 hours after the second dose was administered. Okay? So, we will be using this formula. This is the concentration at a certain dose here. So, the second dose ito. Times S, hindi na natin nilagay sa baba ha kasi it's already 1. And then the F also is 1 since this is IV bolus. So kaya hindi na talaga sinalin dyan 1 times 1. Diretso na tayo sa dose, that's 250 milligrams times 1 minus the E raised to the power of N. N is the number of dose na nag-elapse. Okay? So, it's on the second dose. Kaya, 2 times K is the elimination rate constant. That's 0.1 times the dosing interval. So, our dosing interval is 8 hours. And then, divided by, again sa baba, 30 is the volume of distribution minus 1. Times 1 minus E raised to the power of, again, 0.1 is the elimination rate constant times 8, the dosing interval. Okay? Tapos, if after doing the math for this part, i-multiply natin siya sa E raised to the power of negative KT. So, 0.1, and then, as you can see here, the T here is the time. So, that's 3 hours. 3 hours after the second dose. We have 3 here. Now, if you're going to compute this, the plasma concentration for the 250 milligram dose of a drug, after the second dose, after 3 hours, that's 8.96 milligrams per liter. Okay? So that's how we compute for the concentration if we do multiple dosing for an IV bolus injection. Okay? Now, if you're going to continue, if we just want to check what will be the maximum concentration and minimum concentration or the peak and trough plasma concentration for the second dosing interval, we may also do this using the following formula. Okay? So, ito yung maximum concentration. Nawala lang yung times KT dito ha. So, ganun pa rin yung mga data. 250 na dose. Tapos 1 minus E raised to the power of 2, that's the second, the N. The second dosing na kasi siya, times 0.1, that is the elimination rate constant, times the 8, the dosing interval, divided by 30 times 1, minus E raised to the power of 0.1, negative 0.1, K, and then the dosing interval. So the peak plasma concentration for the second dosing is 12.1 milligrams per liter. Okay? Yan yung mag-peak plasma niya. Yung second dose na 250 and then yung naiwan from the first dose, yung magpipeak siya at 12.1 milligrams per liter. And then yung minimum concentration niya naman before we'll have the third dose is the 5.4 milligrams per liter. Anong gagawin? Ito lang, the maximum concentration times E raised to the power of 0.1 times 8. Okay? So 0.1 again is the elimination rate constant and then i-multiply natin sa 8. That's the dosing interval. Okay? So again, it's on the second dosing interval. 3 hours after that, the concentration, yung peak natin is, peak pa muna ha, 12.1 and then the minimum is 5.4. But after 3 hours, 8.96 yung magiging plasma concentration na naiwan. Okay? So I hope you will be familiar with the equation. We'll have problem solving sa ating final exam next week. Okay? Questions or clarification before tayo mag-move on? Wala. I am almost done. And then afterwards, I'll give you time to practice the problem solving. I'll post samples later for you to do or to practice. But before that, let's continue. Principle of superposition. Kaya yan yung sinusunod natin for IV bolus administration. Again, the principle of superposition wherein yung total amount of the drug in the body for multiple dosing is dependent on the amount that we provide for the new dose and i-add natin yung naiwan na dose from the naiwan na drug from the previous administration. Okay? So the superposition principle is used when all the disposition processes, yung kasama na dyan yung distribution, metabolism, and excretion are linear. So, syempre, walang absorption kasi. No need for the absorption process for the IV bolus administration. Again, hindi ito applicable if non-linear yung disposition process. When I say non-linear, kung hindi siya first order kinetics. So I'm talking about the graph for the semi-log paper ha. Okay, so according to this approach, concentrations after multiple doses can be calculated if we're going to add the concentrations from each dose. Concentrations of each dose, yung remaining. Okay, and if we're going to double even the dose of the drug, I mean, if i-double natin siya, syempre magdo-double din yung concentration at each time. Okay, if we're going to check it. That is again called the principle of superposition. To further explain this one, we have this example. We have here a drug administered as a 64 milligram dose and then every half-life. So every half-life yung magiging dosing interval. Meaning at the end, at the end of the first dosing interval, half of the drug remains in the body, half is excreted. So as you can see here on the table, the first dose is 64 and then syempre half-life no maiiwan 32. And then on the second dose, nagiging 96 na yung maximum kasi nga we have the principle of the superposition. I-add natin yung new dose which is still 64 and ano yung naiwan from the previous dose. That's 32. Okay? 32. And then 96 na ito, syempre half-life na naman since this is first order kinetics, yung pag-decline ng drug sa body nakadepende sa remaining concentration. That's 96. So after another half-life, half will remain in the body. That's 48. Okay? 48 na yung naiwan. So in this case, all in all, yung accumulation between peaks, between peak ng ating dosing is 32. Okay? 96 minus 64. That's 32 yung nag-accumulate na drug. So magpapatuloy yan siya as we give the remaining doses. So for example, this one, 48 plus the 64 will get 112 and then another half-life, 56 na lang ang maiiwan. Okay? Pero if we're going to look at the accumulation peak here, as we give the succeeding doses, bababa actually nagde-decrease yung accumulation ng drug. Okay? Nagde-decrease siya. Hanggang magsi-zero yan siya. Pag nag-zero na yan siya, that's what we call the steady state concentration, in which pareho na yung amount ng drug na pumapasok and amount ng drug na lumalabas. Okay? So wala nang accumulation na mangyayari. Okay? So if we are going to do the math here, bababa talaga siya. Just like this, nakita natin on the third dose, yung accumulation natin 16 na lang, 112 minus 96. And then ito, 56, tapos nag-administer tayo ng another dose na naman, 56 plus 64, that's 120. Okay? So yung difference between the fourth and the third dose when it comes to the accumulation is, ito na, bababa na siya. From 16, naging 8 na lang. Until again, magzi-zero yan siya. Pag nag-zero na, steady state concentration na ang tawag dyan. Okay? So this is how it looks like if we are going to do the graph. Okay? So we have here the amount of drug. Siyempre, this one is the first dose here at concentration at 0 time. Ayan. And then bababa ang drug, mag-a-administer ka ng second dose, mag-i-eliminate na naman siya, tapos mag-administer na naman ng another dose until magiging equal na yung amount ng pumapasok and amount ng lumalabas. Kaya nagsi-zero. As you can see, nag-plateau na siya. That's the steady state concentration. Okay? Ayan. This one is another illustration na yung peaks and troughs habang nagpapatuloy yan as we administer the multiple doses, nare-reach natin yung steady state. There will be no accumulation of drug already in the body. Amount of drug is equal sa lumabas and pumasok. Okay? So this one is our computation for the steady state. Multiple dosing and then we have here the steady state. Since again, magsi-zero yung accumulation of drug after some time, after how many dosing or doses. Okay, we will be using this formula. Concentration at steady state is equal to the same thing actually, nawala lang yung nasa taas, no? Kasi magzi-zero na yun siya. S times F times D na lang, pero the rest similar pa rin sa previous one na equation. So divided by the volume of distribution times 1 minus e raised to the power of the k and the dosing interval times e raised to the power of kt. And then we can also compute for the maximum concentration at steady state and at the same time the minimum concentration at the steady state using the same formula also. Alisin natin yung e raised to the power of kT here, mako-compute na natin ang maximum concentration at steady state. Tapos pag na-compute na natin ang maximum concentration at the steady state, i-multiply lang natin siya sa A raised to the power of kT, we will get the minimum concentration. Ito yung magiging maximum concentration during the plateau and then minimum concentration, again, during the steady state. So we'll be using this same set of data from the previous computation. Diba, the dose given a while ago for the multiple dosing was 250 milligrams. Tapos the volume of distribution is 30 liters. The K is also given, that's 0.1 per hour. And then the dosing interval is 8 hours. So if we want to check the peaks and the troughs of the steady state plasma concentration nung drug na yon, we can do it like this using the formula. S again is still 1. And then the F is also 1. So pwede tayong diretso sa dose, that's 250. I divided by 30. That's the volume of distribution minus 1. Times 1 minus E raised to the power of K. That's 0.1 times the dosing interval 8. So if we're going to compute it, we will get 15.1 milligrams per liter. Yan yung magiging Cmax at the steady state. Okay? And then, i-multiply natin yung computed natin na maximum concentration at steady state. The same thing dito, i-multiply natin siya diretso sa E raised to the power of 0.1 times 8. Our trough here, our minimum concentration is 6.8 milligrams per liter. Okay, that's how we do it. If after how many dosing na-reach na natin ang steady state. Okay, so that's the last one. This is just a sample sa seatwork ko. Nasa Google Classroom na ito. You can practice. Dadagdagan ko pa ito later kasi isa pa lang kasi ito. Lalagay ko siya doon sa application na part. Ito kasing isa is nasa analysis ko nalagay. You can do this para practice na din for the exam. Okay, again, I have also posted the copy of the PowerPoint presentation for your reference. And then later, after natin i-off or i-turn off itong conference na ito, I will be giving you a copy of the recorded video kasi hindi ko ito makukuha kung hindi natin i-end yung ating conference. So later na lang after ending the conference. So that's it. That's for the discussion this afternoon. Any question or clarification? Yes, ma'am. Abigail.
Doc, question lang po. Na-confuse po kasi ako medyo. Sa ano po, sa seatwork po, isang dose lang po or yung dalawang dose for yung
Wait lang.
C-min and C-max?
Klaro. Sorry, ano yun?
Isang dose lang po.
Yeah.
Isa lang
Oo. Isang dose.
po. Thank you po.
So, baliktad yun siya. the dosing interval is given, the volume of distribution as well as the elimination rate constant. Tapos yung Cmax and the minimum concentrations are also given. Ang hahanapin doon is the dose. So
Okay
isang
po.
dose lang yan siya.
Okay po. Thank you.
Anything else? And then wait ako sa other pa na samples for the problem solving para i-practice niyo siya. So again yung picturean lang. Yung sa exam, yung factors affecting drug absorption, tapos ito, yung sa pharmacokinetic profile of the drug given via IV bolus administration, both single and multiple dosing. Yun lang yung ating final exam since we have a very limited time. This is our last na meeting. I hope in that very limited time na naka-review tayo with our biofarm. And then mag-move on na kayo. If this is your last semester, God bless sa inyong compre exam. And then God bless also sa inyong thesis. If this is your last, I don't know if this is your last. No, I don't know. Or first year pa kayo. Nakalimutan ko na.
Last na po.
Last na! Wow, malapit na pala kayong matapos. Go!